We're going to factor out what's common. What is common? So let's just write it down here. Factor out what's common. Alrighty. That's what we're going to try and do. So let's start with something that's pretty easy to see. So let's say we had 4a plus, let's say we had 12b. Well, the letters aren't common. What do I mean by common? I'm saying that there's a number that can divide into both of these numbers. And you probably say 2, and I'll agree with that. 2 is common. But 4 is also common because 4 divides into 4, and 12 is divisible by 4. So we always want the biggest one, right? So I'm going to write down what's common on the outside. So the common piece goes on the outside, and then what's left over has to go inside the parentheses. So if I divide by 4, 4a divided by 4, that would just leave me a. What if I divide 12 by 4? Well, that just leaves me 3b. And this is the answer. When you take out what's common, that's all you're doing. You say, what? And I say, yeah, that's it. What if we had 11 a squared plus 17a? Well, now there's nothing we can divide the numbers by, but look, the letter A is common, right? There's an A here, and there's 2 of them there. This is like saying A times A, right? That's what A squared is. So, if I take the A out, if I take 1A out, I'm going to take 1A out of here. Well, that's going to leave me with 11. And if I take 1 out, that'll leave me with 1A there. And then if I take the A out of here, that leaves me with just 17. Look at that. So, this is the answer. Now, remember that we can distribute this just like this, and it comes back to what we had. So this would give x squared, that would give me a. Yeah. 4a, and then that would be 12. See, it just works out just like that. So, is there anything trickier? Well, I suppose, you could have numbers and letters that are equally divisible, right? So what if we had 20a to the second b, and then minus 12a to the first and b to the second. Oh my goodness, what is that? Well, they're both even, so they're divisible by 2. In fact, they're both divisible by 4. 4 divides in there and there, so we can take 4 out. Anything bigger? No, nothing bigger, so we want the biggest one. And then look, there's an A. In fact, there's 2 A's. If you look at it this way, this is 4 times 5 times AB. And this one's 4 times 3 times ABB, right? Because B squared just means there's 2 B's and A squared. So see, I just wrote it out to where I can see all the little pieces, right? Now, check this out. Take out what's common. That has to be on the outside. There's a 4 in both places. There's an A in both places. There's a B in both places. So if I take the 4, 1A, and 1B out, what's left over here is 5A. And then if I take the 4, 1A, and 1B out, then what's left over here is 3B. Look at that. What's common? Ta-da! We did it. We did it. Now, on this worksheet, there's questions like this, and then there's questions that are special cases. Now, you've seen them special cases before. You know, if I had x squared minus 16. Remember, these special cases still has to multiply to be the front and add up to be the middle. But uh-oh, there's no middle. That means it has to add up to be 0. So x plus 4 and x minus 4, those multiply to be negative 16, and when you add them together, it's 0. How about that, huh? So that's a special case, and this is also a special case. 9x squared, 16x squared. Let's try minus 9, huh? So look at that. Well, I know that it's a special case because there's only two things. I know the numbers that multiply to be that would be 3 and 3, 1 positive, 1 negative. And to be 16, it'd have to be 4x and 4x. Now let's check it out. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. This is outside and inside now. Outside is 12. Inside is negative 12. Adds up to be 0. That's the special case. Right? I think so. Okay. So, there's more. Yeah, there's more. Just one more. One more. So what if we had something like this? 2, and then we had, 2x squared minus 32. Alright? You say, well, wait a minute. There's nothing that multiplies to be 2. That's right. So we have to do this. We have to take out what's common, which in this case is just 2. So I have to divide everything by 2. And look what happens. Now I have to factor into two groups. So you always look to see if there's anything common. This is your first step. Right? And then second, after you take out what's common, can you break it down into two groups? Well, sure I can. This is x plus 4 and x minus 4. Right? Let's do an extra tricky one. An extra tricky one. Although now that you've seen that once, you're probably not going to be tricked by it again, huh? Now look carefully. What's common? Only one thing, right? 2 is the only thing that's common, because there's an x here and a y here. They're not common. 2 is the only thing common. They're both even, so I'm going to take 2 out. 16x squared minus 49y squared. Ho, ho! Now, can I do this when there's two letters? Yes, I can. It's the same thing, because to get 16, you have to have 4x and 4x, right? And to get 49y squared, you'd have to have 1 plus 7 and 1 minus 7, right? Now then, look at it. This makes negative 49y. Hey, that's what I want. Positive 16, that's what I want. And then this is negative 28, inside, outside. Positive 28 minus negative 28 adds up to be 0. This is the answer to this guy. So, we did everything. Factor out what's common. Then we factored into two groups. So that's what you have to do. Look for what's common, factor into two groups, and you're golden. So, let's stop it and do our worksheet.